Imagine, for a moment, the pain of seeing your son accused of something he didn't do. Imagine the anguish of not being able to do anything to save his life. This is the story of Robert Simmons and his son Derek. Robert is the Attorney General of the United States, and even with all the power in his hands, he can't protect his son from a system that condemns him unjustly. The relationship between father and son will be tested in ways neither of them ever imagined. But when a father decides that fighting for his son is worth everything, what happens next can change the world. Get ready for the story of a family that defies the impossible. Before we continue, if you believe that the power of family love is stronger than any challenge, subscribe now and turn on notifications. Don't miss out on the rest of this emotional father-son journey. Derek Simmons had always been a good kid, full of dreams and hope for the future. But everything changed the day he was falsely accused of a crime he didn't commit. He was just a 17-year-old teenager, and in the blink of an eye, his life was shattered. The system that was supposed to protect him failed him at every turn. But the worst part wasn't the injustice. It was seeing his mom, Sandra, looking at him with eyes full of pain, knowing there was nothing she could do to help him. When Judge Kenneth Walker sentenced him to life in prison, Derek was in shock. He knew his life was being stolen from him, but what he didn't know was that his family was about to face this fight together. Robert Simmons, despite his powerful position, felt the weight of helplessness watching his son being sentenced. He knew Derek was innocent, but he also knew he couldn't act just anyway without risking his career and his personal life. But as a father, he couldn't just stand still. He vowed to do whatever it took to correct this wrong, and more importantly, to bring his son back. Their bond as father and son was about to be tested in ways neither could ever imagine. Robert wasn't just fighting against a corrupt system. He was fighting for his son, for his family's future. He knew that if he wanted to prove Derek's innocence, he had to face a powerful enemy. With the help of Julia Harris, a trusted investigator, he started digging deeper into Derek's case. But what they uncovered was more than just a judicial error. Judge Kenneth Walker was involved in a bribery scheme, manipulating sentences to lock up more young black men for private prison corporations in exchange for money. Robert then made a tough choice: to risk his career and personal life to protect what he loved most. Meanwhile, Derek was facing a much harder battle than anyone could imagine. He wasn't just fighting for his own freedom, but for something even deeper: the hope that one day his mom and dad would see him free again. He often thought of his mother's words, "The truth will come out, son. Don't lose hope." Even though he was far from his family, Derek felt his father's love guiding him, like a flame that would never go out. As Robert's investigation progressed, he realized that the corruption wasn't just with one judge. It ran through the entire system. But more than that, he understood that he was fighting for something much bigger than his son's freedom. He was fighting for his family's dignity, for the possibility of a future where his son could live without being treated as a statistic in a broken system. With each new discovery, Robert and Derek's bond grew stronger, because Robert knew that his mission was personal and his son's life depended on him. The final moment came. Robert entered the courtroom, not just as the Attorney General, but as a father. He wasn't just challenging the system to save his son. He was there to make sure justice was done, to show that no matter how much power the system had, a father's love for his son was stronger. When the evidence was presented, the truth was undeniable. Judge Kenneth Walker was arrested, and the corruption that had plagued the justice system started to be revealed. Finally, the day came. The court ruled. Derek would be released. When he walked out of prison, he was greeted by his mother, who was crying tears of joy. But the true victory wasn't just his freedom. The greatest victory was the moment when Derek and Robert embraced. They had won not just against corruption, but against the odds, together as a family. Their bond was stronger than any system, any injustice. Now, alongside Derek, Robert Simmons began a nationwide justice reform, fighting so that other families like his wouldn't have to face the same struggles. Robert and Derek's story wasn't just about what the system did to them. It was about what the love between a father and son can do to change the world. Together, They showed that when family is united, nothing is impossible. Every day, more people joined their cause because now true justice was being built from the heart of a family.